Hey everyone, Liam Faulkner back again to do a review of the self-titled album by Weezer, otherwise known as the Gold Album. Just to preface this review, I was really hyped for this album when it was announced, as I'm sure many people were. Obviously because the singles were great, and this is a return to their classic sound, so I knew that this would probably be good before it even came out. But man, this blew my expectations away in a way that I could never imagine. When this album was first, announced, I was probably expecting like a 7 out of 10 for it, but no, this is like, well, you'll see my score at the end of the video, but it's a lot higher than a 7, I'll tell you that. This is Weezer going back to their classic sound they had on the Blue album, or the Green album, or even the White album if you want to get down to it, which I'd say is a very nice choice considering they've basically been doing all sorts of shit over the past decade. I mean, they did a pop album, they did a cover album, they did another pop album, they did a fucking orchestra album, they did whatever the fuck Van Weezer was, they did... Who even remembers Seasons? But it's cool to see them finally go back to their roots for the first time in about 10 years, since, this is clearly the sound that's working for them. It was the sound that worked for them in the first place 30 years ago, so I think they should just stick with it, but that's not going to happen. The writing is really good. Weezer have always kind of been a band that has sort of effy writing, but this one is definitely a big improvement over anything they've released over the past decade. It's witty, it's goofy, but it's also heartfelt and mature when it needs to be, and it's not too corny, which is very, very impressive for this band at the stage of their career. I do think the production is definitely a bit compressed in places. It could have been a bit, a bit clearer, if you know what I mean. It's a bit fucking, like, boxed in during the louder parts, but it's not a deal breaker. Also, Rivers Cuomo's voice is kind of mixed weird, as he has this, like, I don't know, I don't know how to explain it. But it doesn't clash with the overall mix in the first place, which is definitely a big deal. This is just nitpicky, but I felt like doing it because we're in a review and you have to do this stuff. Speaking of Rivers, his voice is on fire. This is the best vocals he's had on an album in like 15 years. I think the last time his vocals were really this good was back on Iwube, and that was 12 years ago. So yeah, he's once again proving that he is definitely one of the best rock vocalists of his era, and arguably of all time. This album feels like the band actually give a shit again. All their previous albums up to this point felt like they were basically just, on autopilot, just doing random shit for the sake of a paycheck, like Van Weezer, or the Black Album, or the Teal Album. But this one feels like they actually have fun making music again, and actually spent a lot of time, refining and making sure these new songs were as good as they could be before they released, because with other albums they felt like they were basically unfinished before they came out. The singles on this album are fucking amazing. They're easily my favourite songs on the album. Shine Again, We Might As Well Be Strangers, and C.E.O. are all lovely songs. My favourites on the album would probably be Say Yes, Don't Make It Weird, or The Show Must Go On, alongside the 3 brilliant singles. The only song I didn't really care about on the album was Hoops, but you know what? One sort of mediocre song among 10 is fucking amazing for modern Weezer, I can tell you that for sure. Yeah, overall I would say this album is definitely a very pleasant surprise considering their recent output, and a lovely return to form for a band as old as Weezer. I'm feeling an 8.9 out of 10 on the Gold album, and on top of that, I'm also seeing them live in May next year at the Ovo Hydro in Glasgow, so that'll be no fun. Just bye. Goodbye.